welcome to Uriah Jokes Podcast. The podcast that, if it existed in the 14th century, would have been accused of being an insane witch and burned at the stake by an angry mob of people who think they are right. And speaking of a man who changed his identity to a cowardly lion to save money on taxes, welcome your host, Uriah Wesman. Yeah. Fantastic. An angry group of people trying to kill somebody's career for not understanding their humor. Or at that point, maybe it'd be lunacy to blame them. I was the lunatic in this equation, thinking the world or those people would have even been ready for a borderline mediocre podcast. Hey, I got a podcast for people not to listen to. And they would be like, what the hell are you talking about? And how about that for relevant? This is my podcast. And if you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button, because I don't think there's a podcast quite like it, because nobody is quite like me. Or at least I hope not. Last thing I want to think is, for anyone, if I end up having an evil twin that end up being funnier and better looking than me, I'd be doomed. I'd be doomed as a man and doomed as a failing comedian. I don't even think this podcast would work back in the 7th century. After all, my accent would have terrified them. Because back then, everyone talked with British accents and wigs. Is that what was going on during the 14th century? Yo, unpaid intern. Where are ya? The unpaid intern that I promised a recommendation, but my recommendation is about as good as a podcast in the 7th century. Full circle, full moon. I'm a crazy man. I'm a crazy man. I was listening to Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, I think it's called. And I almost got attacked by a werewolf. Oh, man. Full circle, full moon. I'm a crazy man. Well, I got bad news. The Wi-Fi is down. And by down, I mean the neighbor changed the password. I do have a backup plan. Local coffee shop. The local coffee shop parking lot. That brings us to a new segment. Economy tomorrow. It's better than economy today because you're 24 hours ahead of the curve. And that curve is not a curve that needs flattening like your bank account. It's a curve that only goes up, because listening to Uriah jokes give economy news. It's like listening to a bunch of people who declared bankruptcy giving you financial advice. But guess what? I never declared bankruptcy. Not yet. We have several economists that are whiffy with the numbers. And will cook your books and maybe even cook them raw. Oh, baby, I look at it raw. No, don't get the copyright strike. So they're whiffy with the numbers, and they take those numbers, put them in a blender with my money savior ideas, and they whip up a concoction of a smoothie that will make you money. So what you do is you park at the local coffee shop parking lot. They say me rolling. Whoa! You bring your own coffee. My house isn't made with Maxwell House because I can't afford it. I'm not made out of money. I'm made out of the free bin at the Salvation Army. I'm made out of bones, and these bones will have a bone to pick with you if you don't save money with my life-changing advice. I mean, how good can I get it? I have a roof over my head. And a microphone to talk into with a delusional audience that's like, hey, maybe this guy's onto something. Maybe, I don't know. But next, go to the compost. That's where you'll get freshly brewed coffee grounds from yesterday. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Illuminati. The Illuminati likes recycling because they want to take over the world with the Green New Deal, right? That's what Alex Jones thinks, and that is a moron. Because that means we would be doing something about climate change. Ya morons. You moron, Alex Jones. I'll go on your podcast, and I will whip up a bunch of truth that will make you look like an incoherent nutcase. I think I just did that myself, though. But you get 2 coffees every day. 2 coffees every day, that's $40,000. So yeah, if you have 2 coffees every day, that's 6 times 365. You save $40,000 a month. Wow. That math works out. Working it out, working the math out, working the kinks out. I mean, how complicated are these numbers? What am I, somebody counting votes? What am I, the Electoral College? What am I, a Twitter feed? What am I, a hedge fund fueled by conspiracy theory laced with morons who dive into rabbit holes, and those holes are dug by Shia LaBeouf. Dig it up along. That's a good movie. Holes is a good movie. Saving money hasn't been this crucial since first moving out of my parents' place and into a world of disappointment and oligarchy. Oligarchy? The hell does that mean? We just can't write a word because it makes us look smart. Cool? Would it be cool? Oligarchy makes me feel like it's the royal family or something like that. But really, oligarchy, all above the oligarchy train. Yeah. Choo-choo! But oligarchy reminds me of when I went to Thanksgiving dinner with my then girlfriend, who will always be a ghost in my heart, and that ghost is the curse of optimism, forever loitered in my arteries, which is sadness. I had heart disease, and that disease was love, you morons! Her parents kept using that word, oligarchy, oligarchy. And all I said was, I love some. Is that a Bordeaux? Is that a skin forward wine? With a full body taste? Full body oligarchy? Full malarkey? Malarkey? Let's just say when I proposed, exactly, you know, the thing is when you don't understand the word and you're with a group of people and you're trying to impress them, the best thing you want to do, well, I guess the worst thing you would want to do is propose at that instance to change the conversation. Do not do that because you need a ring. And the ring I was in was a ring of fire, and that was the interrogation. That was the questions they were asking me, just basic questions that I failed at. I was disappointing my girlfriend's parents by just being myself. I was a 23-year-old man who worked at Canadian Tire. So if I were looking for people to be disappointed in me, I wouldn't even leave the house. I would just order Grubhub and eat it in front of the mirror like the next guy. So that was Economy Tomorrow, which is better than Economy Yesterday, because why would you want yesterday's news? It's old news, and the last thing you want is an old bank account. Because we're always 24 hours in front of what's trending in the world of numbers. Now join me tomorrow. That sounds like a cult. Join me tomorrow where we will sacrifice a number, and that number is the number 69. And we will teach you the money-saving tips a local raccoon taught me. And this has been the Uriah Jokes Podcast, the podcast where if... I love some